stream?
It says it's live.
Wait, here we go. Go live. Going live. You're live.
I don't feel any different.
Can you tell if there are people there, Beth? Do you have that ability or no?
Yeah. Three. There's 3 people watching. Although it says 3 waiting. You should be able to see it. Oh, 2 watching. Okay, there's 2 people watching. And I think one of those is me. Oh, now there's 1 watching. I don't know. I guess we were boring. They went away. I don't know. I guess we were boring. They went away. Hi.
Hi, Carmen.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I've had better weeks, so to speak.
Oh.
It's only Monday.
Yeah, well, I got to work this morning to find out one of our job sites had been broken into, and we lost over $10,000 worth of tools.
That sucks.
Yeah, so I've spent majority of my day trying to figure out the serial numbers of the tools that were actually down there that were stolen, and filing a report with Essex PD and everything else. So that's how my Monday started.
You can have it.
So, yeah. And my bosses were none too impressed. Not that I can blame them, but.
Cindy,
Yeah.
are you keeping track of everyone that comes on?
No.
Because I don't know some of the people.
No, but we will once everybody gets on. But you've got right now Doug Jacobs.
Yeah, I know him. I don't know this guy over here.
Hi, I'm Jeff Porter, Grand Isle County Alternate Director.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
Damien said he might try to make it, but he wasn't sure. So.
Yep, I'm here.
And then Bruce is Bruce Carlson.
Yep.
New director for Caledonia County. And then the phone number 9996, that's Ed Heberbrand.
Okay, all right. Okay, so then we'll just go around and everybody will say who they are.
Yeah, we've got more coming in now.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, Cindy, quick question.
Yeah.
So, on Matt's report, it said he wants us to approve wording on contracts, but I didn't see a copy of a contract to look at the wording.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure he included it, but I have it and I will send it to everyone. And I'll show you on my screen the wording difference. It's 1 sentence.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask, so I didn't know maybe if I'd missed it or something.
No.
Start the meeting early? Am I late?
No, you're not late.
You're early
All
by
right.
3 minutes.
Beth, I just made you host. If you could take over letting people in for just a minute.
Yeah. Should be fine. Just tell her to holler to me if she needs anything.
I need something, Jim. Money. Lots and lots of money to buy my own island.
Good luck with that.
Well, you said if you needed anything. I'm a she.
I'll fix that.
You'll fix me being a she?
Can everybody hear me now? Beth? Lewis, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
You can, thank you.
Yep, we can hear you.
Beth isn't answering me. Beth, you're on mute.
I'm
Yes.
muted, sorry.
There you go. All right, I'm all set.
I just said I put in the chat the link to live stream if anyone wants to go on there, if there's comments or whatever, if you want to watch those. I would just mute it on the live stream because it's delayed, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds or so. And you don't want the feedback coming into the meeting. But there is a chat option in the live stream if any watchers have questions or comments, whatever.
Got chores to do, so. She's making.
Cindy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you host and have you start the recording for Cindy Brown.
Yep.
Because I'm afraid if I start it and then make you host later, I don't want it to get interrupted. So.
Thanks, Beth.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. We are now recording. And I think we're ready to go.
It says I still need permission from the meeting host, Beth.
So what? No, she made me host.
Oh.
And
Okay.
I already started the
sorry.
recording.
Okay, sorry. I thought you said Cindy Brown, so, okay.
So who's, that 860 number? That's Bruce Carlson's phone. Bruce, can you mute? Actually, I can mute your phone. Never mind. I just muted him. So he's on twice because he can see us on his computer, but he can't.
Hear us?
Yeah. No, he can hear us, but if he wants to talk. Is Jeff on?
Yes, I am. I'm right here.
No, Jeff. I'm sorry, Jeff Fay.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I am. I'm here.
He's hiding.
Okay.
Hi, Patty.
Oh, he is hiding. Yep. Okay.
That better.
Yeah, I just couldn't see you. That's all. I wasn't.
Well,
Oh.
there's
No, go back behind the sign.
reason for that.
Thanks for emailing that, Cindy.
Yeah, you're welcome, Carmen. I just emailed everybody a copy of the draft grooming contract and a copy of the most updated by club and county TMAs that have been sold for in-state folks that have in-state addresses and folks that have out-of-state addresses, just for our conversation a little bit later. Tim, I think you're ready to go.
We'll call the meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. Have you got all the visitors logged in, Cindy? Cindy Brown.
She's muted.
Yes, she has everyone.
She is muted.
She has Lewis down for Lisa.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Approval of the agenda. I accept a motion.
Addison County makes a motion.
Okay, second.
Lamoille?
Any additions to the agenda, or are we all set?
I think we're all, I have nothing.
Okay. All right. All those in favor of approving the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those against, nay. Motion carries. Maybe we'll do the hand raising. Secretary's report from last month. I trust everybody's had a chance to read it. Can I get a motion on the secretary's report?
Chittenden County moves to approve.
Second.
Grand Isle will second.
Any corrections or additions, changes to the secretary's report for October 26, 2020? All right, here and then we'll take it to a vote. All those in favor of approving. Wait, Dick? Is
Yeah,
that you? What do you got?
on page 3, under staff reports. Next to the last line, it says including class 4 roads. It should be class 4 groomers.
Hey, Dick, can you turn your camera off? Do you know how to do that? That might make you come through clearer. But you click on the thing that says start video or stop video. Use your mouse, scroll to the bottom underneath all the boxes, and bar should pop up. And click on the one, stop video. So we won't be able to see you, but we'll be able to hear you better.
Okay.
I can repeat what he said. I think I got it.
Go ahead, Patty.
I'm not finding it.
He said on page 3, under staff reports, it says class 4 roads. It should say class 4 groomers. It's the second to last sentence in that paragraph.
Thank you.
I got it right, Dick, right?
Yeah.
Class 4 grooming? Or
Groomers.
groomer. Okay.
There, I stopped the video.
Oh, you're much clearer now, Dick.
Bruce, can you mute your phone? We're just getting a lot of feedback from it.
Are there any other corrections to the October 26, 2020 meeting minutes? All right, hearing none, we'll take it to a vote. All those in favor of approving the corrected October 26 meeting minutes, say aye. Or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Those against, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Treasurer's report, Patty.
Okay, so this was nice to have 1 month of fresh data. So I have to say that. So Sheila spent a little bit of time with me today. So just at a very high level, the memberships you can see across the top get broken down. I'm reading the summary page between 3 buckets. I'm gonna round number, 61K in the general fund, 158K, which is the majority of the money going into the Trails Fund, and $221 going into scholarship fund, which is like, I think it's 10% or 10 cents or 11 cents of every TMA. So that's first. Income versus expense in the general fund, you can see 27K negative. We got more money going out than we have coming in at this point. It's early in the season, so I'm sure once we start selling the TMAs towards the early bird deadline will be good. And you can see through the expenses where we are. You know, I just pulled out a couple of quick ones, the 36K under operating and office. A big part of that is the online TMAs, the credit card fees and stuff, and the property taxes for the building. I don't think if you want anything else, I can tell you, but that's the big one in there. And then under the trails, the 12K also includes the 5,800 from the Green Mountain National Forest Fund, which most of that will come back. We'll get reimbursed for that later. So, and almost 4,000 was in trail signs. So that's just a very high level summary for the first month. It was nice having nice clean data to do this. So the learning curve, but I feel good.
Carmen, I have to have a motion first.
Oh, that's okay.
All right.
I'll make a motion then to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
Rutland County will second that.
Thank you. Now the floor is open.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Rutland County.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Sorry
Carmen.
I'm late, guys.
Hey, just a quick question, and I don't know that Patty can answer this.
Probably
When
not.
will we see that increase with the insurance that we talked about last month, which I believe was like 42 or 50,000?
It's 42K.
We already paid it.
42K.
We paid it. We paid it. We have to pay it in September. So you're not going to see it again.
Oh,
until
okay.
Any other
Okay.
questions? Any other questions? Thanks, Carmen. All right, that was pretty smooth. All those in favor of approving the treasurer's report as reported, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Those against, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Tabled items, we don't have any. Consent calendar, there's nothing on it. Old business is blank. New business, Lenny Howe, Drew, Ivor, and Cindy.
Lenny Howe's the guy that does all the grooming over in Dover. He's been involved over there for a long time. I think he's a fine candidate for a lifetime nomination. I've met with him a few times, and I know Drew's met with him. So
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. Definitely deserves to have a lifetime membership. I'm all for that.
he spent the past month volunteering his time running a rented excavator to fix up the Route 100 trail section that goes from Somerset Reservoir down into the village of Dover. And I'm sure he's done other stuff too. I know Dover's got some other stuff that they're working on also.
When you gotta make a motion, to give Lenny Howe a lifetime TMA, lifetime membership, I'm sorry.
I would second that.
Who's the second?
Rutland County.
Please say your name, okay, or your county.
It's Kurt, Rutland County.
I'm not looking at you, so I'm typing on another machine, so.
Okay, you got it.
Thank you, Kirk and Dick.
All right, so are there any questions that anybody has for Drew, Ivor?
Yeah, Tim, I've got one.
Yep, go ahead, Pat.
Has he had any county or state level involvement?
As far as
I don't think so.
no, Mike, has he been to any of the county meetings? I don't think he has been.
I was in the Rita up there, Doug Jacobs here, alternate director for Windsor County. In the Rita up there, it's quite a a write-up about him in the pamphlet that Cindy sent out. It looks like he keeps both of the groomers in his barn too.
Yes.
He does,
Yeah.
plus
So he-
all the other equipment.
He's pretty heavily involved by this write-up.
I would definitely agree with you, Doug. The guy puts his time in. There's very good write-ups on him.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Very deserving.
Yep.
Are there any other questions
I
for?
got one
Go ahead.
quick one, Tim.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
It's a technical, because we're on Zoom. I don't know how we do this, if we just assume, but to become a life member, it has to be a unanimous vote.
Yes, it does, Jim.
So I just don't know how other than assuming.
I think you need to do a county roll.
I agree.
With the unanimous, I believe it's unanimous of all present, right?
Correct.
Right. One representation from each county.
Yes.
How would you like to handle that, Cindy?
Well, if you're asking me, I would say I'll call out the county, and if the county's present, they can say yay or nay.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you when you're ready for the vote? Let me know.
Isn't it unanimous if everyone says aye and no one says nay when you ask for the nays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you need to go through county by county. You
Yeah.
just say all those in favor say aye, and if there's one person that says no, then it's out.
Then you're assuming that everyone is voting. If you do a roll call, they can either vote yes, no, or abstain.
Do we have
Okay.
did we
Okay,
have
I
a
don't think
vote?
it's a big deal either way, but okay.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready for the vote.
Are there any more questions on this?
Louis?
Louis.
I just have to comment that with the question of whether you hold an office or not, I don't think that's relevant because a lot of people don't want to hold the office because of the politic bullshit that goes along with it, which we all know. But they can still put a hell of a lot of time in doing things and still be worth it, getting a lifetime TMA.
I totally agree.
If we base it on that, Louis, we'll have 1,000 lifetime members pretty quick.
I would hope so, but I don't think we will. That's a nice thinking, but maybe.
Yeah, lifetime members don't get us any revenue.
Re-voting.
Are you ready for the vote?
I would believe we are, Cindy, yes.
All right. Addison,
Yes.
Bennington, Caledonia,
Yes.
Chittenden,
Abstain.
Essex, Essex, I know you're on there, Mike. I just am not I'm looking at a spreadsheet. So.
He's got his thumb up.
Thumbs
Cindy.
up.
Thumb up? Okay, thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a spreadsheet with all the counties, so I don't miss one. Franklin. Hang on, I gotta go back to Zoom. Mike was trying to get in and he was having problems. And I resent him the link. Okay, he's still not here. All right. Grand Isle,
Yes.
Lamoille,
Yes.
Orange,
Yes.
Orleans.
Yes.
I think your children have something to say about that, Roger. Rutland,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Wyndham,
Yes.
Windsor.
Yes.
Okay, let me just see if Mike's still trying to get in. Hang on, Mike Burns. Well, He is coming in right now. Do we wait?
No.
Was he here for the presentation? I don't even know if he can.
No,
I wouldn't.
he was, okay. All right, so we're gonna, so if Chittenden County abstained, does that still make it unanimous?
That was my question. I mean,
That's a Jim Hill question. He knows the rules.
I do not know that on, because of that abstention is a no vote, which is not, no, they didn't vote. It's just no, it's not a vote at all. I don't know that.
Okay, should we table this until next month when we can research the vote?
That would be my recommendation. Not to complicate it, but
can I issue a move to table until the December meeting, pending research on vote qualifications?
the question is, the vote has been made. Does this fail at this point?
Right. And I guess my question is, can I table the outcome of the vote pending the research? Or does it now fail and has to be brought up again? I mean, personally, I think that asking to be involved in a county and state level is a high demand that not a lot of people do. But, you know.
According to Wikipedia. Okay, Google, a unanimous vote.
Tim's calling the experts.
All right.
So I would say that if someone abstained and it failed, then it failed until you could bring it up again. And then you could table it.
Well, if it failed, it just plain fails, but it can come back to the board again for reconsideration.
As far as I'm concerned, an abstain is just as much a no as it is a yes. So I would say the vote failed personally.
Well, what it says in Wikipedia is an abstention is a term in election procedure for when a participant in a vote either does not go to vote on election day or in parliamentary procedure is present during a vote but does not cast a ballot. Abstention must be contrasted with blank vote, in which a voter casts a ballot willfully made invalid by marking it wrongly or by not marking anything on it at all. A blank or white voter has voted, although their vote may be considered a spoiled vote depending on each legislation. So it gets into the weeds hard.
Well, but see, that's where we have the weeds here, is that our bylaws say it has to be an unanimous of those present. The person who voted abstain is present. So that in effect is not unanimous.
Correct.
Okay, so then it failed.
Correct. That's the way I understand it.
Okay.
I found like 3 things that say otherwise, that basically an abstention is a non-vote, and anything that is unanimous with an abstention is considered an accepted motion.
It didn't say that for the portion of Wikipedia. Not that I'm arguing it. I was looking for some resolution.
Okay.
Does everybody see what Matt put in the chat?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The last sentence kind of says it.
Which is what I said, because our bylaws define it as unanimous of those here. It wasn't unanimous of those present.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, if Pat didn't get on till after the meeting, like Mike from Franklin, and he didn't vote on it, then it would have been unanimous for everyone who was here. But it wasn't a unanimous yes for everyone who was here.
Well, Matt brings up a good point in the chat as well. I don't know if everybody saw that.
Yeah. All right, so it sounds like to me that it was defeated.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Drew and Ivor, for bringing that forward. TMA program. TMA program update, Cindy?
So we have sold to date 3,532 TMAs. The report I just sent you guys to discuss next, 2,076 of those have out-of-state addresses. 1,456 have in-state addresses. Now, of course, we know that there are a few people that use their second home address as their main address for TMAs. So there still might be people that reside out of state that use an in-state address, but we can't capture everybody. But so you'll see the majority of TMAs that we've sold so far by about almost 600 over the other are people that live out of state. Otherwise, the process is going very well from our end. We're getting questions, but the majority of questions are whether this is going to stay open. So we'll talk about that in the next line item. But as far as the procedure goes, it's going well. I'll be doing lifetime TMAs this week and starting on the commercial and dealer TMAs.
Anybody have any questions for Cindy on the TMA count?
Yes, Cindy Lewis. I missed the second part. You said 2,076 out of state.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Those are not people that have registered out of state. Those are people that live out of state or have
Okay,
out
and
of
what was
state
the-
addresses as their main address on their registrations.
Okay, and what was the other stat you said? I know the 3,500.
1,456 use in-state Vermont mailing addresses on their registrations.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Cindy, do you have a breakdown off your dashboard that's what is full price, out of state, and the family?
Yes. Hold on. I just had it up a couple minutes ago.
Good.
I find it here. Just closed it.
And is your dashboard set up by registration or by address?
It's by registration. It's by registration. That's a special report, that Excel spreadsheet I sent you guys. That is by the in-state, out-of-state address.
It's their mailing address, not registration. Mailing address.
Right.
Yep.
That makes it
Not
difference.
even that. So Jeff, you're asking for.
What I'm trying to get to is a monetary value if we do refunds. I'm just trying to get ahead of the discussion coming up.
Oh, okay.
I just need some numbers to plug into my spreadsheet.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you'll see here,
3 p.m.
early bird in-state is 2,042 people that have registered their snowmobiles in Vermont.
Okay.
Those that have registered their snowmobiles in some other state or province, there's 712.
Okay, so that's not gonna give me what I'm looking for. All right.
Yeah. And as you can see, a lot of the out-of-state addresses have Vermont registrations and have purchased in-state.
Right.
I could work on a report to break it down while you guys are talking.
Yeah, well, I think the point is, I guess we're moving into the next section, which is basically what the long range planning committee has been. Long range is sort of a misnomer at this point, but we've been talking about this with how are we going to handle if people aren't allowed at all to come, right? And we went through numerous ideas about it. I'll let Cindy sort of go off on the report that we wrote up, and then you can ask us questions. Does that make the most sense, Cindy?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm going to stop sharing just so I can see everybody.
All right.
So, so there have been, the committee has been meeting about what to do regarding COVID. And I did talk to the governor's office last week, Tuesday morning before the press conference. And at that point, there was no indication of the border closing, and there still isn't. But I do think that if it does get worse, that they will to change that to only essential travel and maybe essential medical travel. And if COVID does get worse, I mean, probably going to know more tomorrow, because Tuesdays are the days when he does his big announcements. So we've got a lot of people that are concerned from out of state about whether they can come and ride in Vermont. And right now they can, and they can quarantine here and just ride with those that they quarantine with. But of course that could change tomorrow, that could change in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We don't really know. So what we've been doing is talking about, all right, well, we've got some people that maybe just already want a refund. Like maybe they have someone that's got a compromised health system, or they do, and they're sorry they bought their pass, but they're really not going to come to Vermont and ride this year, and they'd like a refund. Then we have other people that that could want a refund in the next week or two. So we talked about what would be the ramifications of that, or if not offering one at all. And we thought that, so if we did a refund to people that live outside of Vermont, offered a refund, we talked about, well, what date would we do it by and how would that work? And with talking to the staff to see the best way to do it, we thought if we could pick a date, let's just say if we would offer refunds until December 15th, which is an early bird day, then we would refund. They would have to mail back their paperwork and their stickers in order to get the refund, and it would have to be here by December 15th. And then we would refund all of their money except for the club dues, and we would allow the clubs to keep those dues. And that would just become a hit for VAST, but we don't want to hurt the clubs any more than they're already going to be hurt by this season for the sales that they've made. And then we also talked about, and I'm going to get back to it because I'm not trying to skip this because I'm sure you guys have questions. The other thought was, because this could go tandem with the refunds, is do we extend the early birds? So maybe we extend early birds till January 15th instead of December 15th, and maybe we do refunds up until January 15th. And then, but no matter what date you pick, whether it's December 15th or January 15th, after that, that's it until we get to the end of the season. And then as a board, you guys can decide in late April or May, look back on the season where we open it all. Did people have a chance to buy TMAs and ride and all that? And then maybe offer some other way to rebate or something like that. But we didn't want to extend early bird too long, and we didn't want to extend the cancellation too long. But we wanted to give people the chance that if they did already buy and they needed to cancel, that opportunity to do so. So, and then again, review the season in April or May. So those were the first three things that really just had to do with the TMAs.
I'll speak. Orleans County. Are we having discussion or?
Yeah, we might open it up.
So a couple of things. One, I feel that the occasional person demanding a refund, having a temper tantrum over the governor's orders, I believe that they are the loud minority. I personally feel it's too early to give them a refund. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we could be realists and say that, you know, it's going to be a terrible season, but we don't know that at this point. So if anything, I would like to see that assessed at the end and to see what has happened. Although that could make a pretty arduous task for the vast office if we do sell a lot of TMAs. But I just really feel like anybody at this point right now, or really anybody that buys their early bird TMA, especially this early, is more of the type of person where I'm buying it no matter what because I know the clubs need the money and I want to support the organization. I see the people waiting until December 14th, the people that really are more on whether or not they're going to get a refund. That's just my thoughts. I'm really, really hesitant on saying let's refund money for people that want it, especially if we open it up and we mention, well, VAST is giving refunds because now there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want it and it's not going to be good. So that's, I do agree with you. There has been some people out there for sure on the public forums demanding it, but those people are also being very unrealistic in the expectations of what we should be doing as a state as a whole. So I think the TMA is the least of their problems personally.
I have to agree with you, Roger, and I've seen the comments in the forums too. And it seems like there's a lot fewer people looking to get their money back already than there are people, you know what I'm saying? They're the minority.
Well, I just like to, we depend on the snow and that's iffy anyway. So this COVID thing is iffy. So I think jumping into a refund for anybody right now is kind of, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with it myself. I mean, we take our chances in this sport anyway with the weather.
So I want to say that we took all of that into consideration when we were meeting with this, and we didn't necessarily favor one thing over the other, but we wanted to make sure that we had options out there as we go forward. As Cindy mentioned, things could change. Like the case numbers jumped up again today, and things could change with what the governor announces. We don't want to. We understand the ramifications, and like I said, we wanted to make sure everyone knew we were working on a plan to address it if we had to. I go back and forth because I think that in this time there's a lot of goodwill to be had at VAST as saying, look, if you don't get a season, we understand, and especially if it's not due to no snow or some other thing that's out of our control, and be willing to help. In fact, I think one of the ideas we tossed around was actually reviewing at the end of the season, similar to what Roger had mentioned, and doing something prorated. Like if there's a month of the season that was closed because of travel restrictions, but you had 2 months, then we give a quarter of your TMA back, and so on and so forth. So there's a number of options we've discussed, but we wanted to put this out here and say, hey, look, this is a possibility, and we will need to think about this as we go on.
I got a quick item. I think if you were going to offer any refunds, it would be anybody from out of state that is joined as of today, because they didn't have this information that the governor put out last week beforehand. From this point on, you're already in the loop. If you buy now, you're in.
I totally agree with Jim.
I also think that maybe instead of giving a refund, if you work some kind of a voucher so that they moved it to the next year or something, as opposed to giving money back. That way they will, it kind of solidifies the fact that they will come back the next year.
The only thing, I agree with that to a point, Mike. The only thing you gotta be careful of is they'll just claim they didn't ride, even if they did all winter. And they may ask for it to have a voucher for next year. And we want to be a little careful prorating too, because they could also convert it easily to a partial brown winter.
Right.
So, right.
Right.
Can
And, I mean,
liken it to a pandemic.
I think that if you were to do a refund, that it would probably make sense to do it sooner than to offer it sooner than later. With what Jim said about the date of information, and make sure the TMAs have to come back. We need to be in possession of that TMA.
I think you want to be careful a little bit. I understand what you're saying too, but you want to be careful because somebody may say, well, I was only paying attention to my state and my borders, and then I bought my TMA anyway. You know that they'll throw 7 different excuses at you. You gotta really be careful.
I don't know. I think that's you're probably right. Somebody could possibly do that, but I tell you, I mean, I get more information from people I know down country about what's going on here because they're paying very close attention to what's happening on a daily basis. Because they want to be here for the winter, be it snowmobiling or skiing or whatever.
Can I bring in a technical administrative point?
Go ahead, Beth.
As far as discussing this with, VAST staff, mainly between me and Sheila, as far as finances and technical points, a refund is the easiest thing to do in that stance. When you start getting into some kind of a, like a discount for next year, and a voucher for specific people and not other people, and it gets really difficult administrative wise. Whereas if we were to just offer a refund across the board up to a certain date, that is much easier than trying to do this person would get this much off next year and that person would get this much off next year. Or if you want to, nobody's brought this up yet, but we have in our meetings doing like percentages and things like that. That would be very difficult from an administrative standpoint. So that's my 2 cents.
The borders haven't been closed yet either.
No, but they might be.
I know.
Question, Louis?
Go ahead, Louis.
If we end up giving refunds back, will VAS even be here next year?
Yeah. We can last a year.
We can last a year. That's one of my questions. Okay.
Yeah, we can last a year, but then what happens next year if there's no snow? Like I see both sides. Just for this end up.
I was hoping more people would want to give them money to keep VAS going, because if they didn't, they wouldn't have a place to come anyway.
Well, that's my question. See, it's hard for us to gauge because this is the first year we've ever sold TMAs. So I don't know how many you guys sell by now. I mean, to me, 3,000 is not a lot.
No, it's not.
A lot of people wait to the last minute, to December 15th. After they get done hunting, they usually, last week, that's when they usually sell it for our county anyway.
Ours as well.
Carmen's got her hand up.
Tim, Jeff and Carmen have their hands up.
I got Carmen and Jeff. Go ahead, Carmen.
So here's the thing. I think that, first of all, I don't think that we should give refunds. I think it's a slippery slope. COVID this is just something odd and like freakish that's happened. You guys, any other year, you're taking that risk of buying your early bird, hoping that Mother Nature is going to cooperate and be in good spirits and dump lots of snow. We don't give refunds back if there's like no snow. We say it is what it is. You took that chance. I get that borders may close. Believe me, if anybody knows, I get it. I have 2 Airbnbs. I get the whole thing. I see it. I understand that VAS could lose the money too, but I think that if you're going to agree to do refunds, then you definitely have to set it by a certain date. And if you say that that's as of today's date or tomorrow, if you wait until after the governor's conference, then you need to also say to those people then that they have until December 1st to get their paperwork and their TMAs back in order to get that refund, because you don't want people lagging either on sending it back, because I would think that people would, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, somebody could have their TMA now, we could get snow, and they may, even if the borders are closed, come across and ride, and then the snow may go to shit, and then they go, oh, well, you know what? Here's my paperwork and my TMA. I want my refund. And I get that means that they don't put it on their sled, but there is that option. And just for the thing, I've seen some of the comments that Roger is speaking about with things, and I think that we all have to be socially responsible right now with COVID-19. I feel like it's a slippery slope, period. I mean, right now, ski resorts, you have to make reservations. And if you purchase, I don't believe right now that they're giving refunds unless you cancel by a certain date, and that's it. I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. So don't quote me to that one, but.
Okay.
I know JP.
Chairman, and then I got Lisa Barnes.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
So Beth sent me the breakdown on the TMAs. So right now, if everybody from the out-of-state addresses wanted a refund and we did not refund the $30 club dues, we'd be looking at $253,336 to refund. And I tend to agree with Roger, which is a scary thought in itself, that there's a loud minority that I think would want the refund. I think there's a bunch that are going to take their chances, and they're still going to come ride. They're just going to be quiet about it.
Yeah.
So, but just to throw a number figure on it, so it's 253,336, and that is broken down by the 4 different categories that Beth provided the numbers for me.
All right, I got Lewis, Jim, and then Stan.
Thanks, Beth.
Just to say what Carmen said about refunds, does anybody know if ski areas are giving back refunds to out-of-state people that have bought them? Because a lot of people buy them in the spring because they're cheaper. Are they doing that?
If you buy insurance on your pass, yes, you will get a refund. My wife got a $500 refund on hers last year due to the early closure of the mountain.
But if you don't buy the insurance, you don't.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Okay, Jim.
And she got it at the end of the year?
Pardon me?
She got it at the end of the year, her refund, though,
Correct.
not in the middle of the
Correct.
season.
Correct.
Jim.
Just for food for thought, I had a call from somebody from Waterbury, Connecticut, wanted to know what was going on. His concern is they ride weekends. If you got to quarantine for 2 weeks, or even quarantine for 1 week, that creates a problem for him. This guy was really nice about the whole situation. He wasn't complaining. He just wanted to know what was going on. What I did find out from him in the end was him and his buddy has a camp up here. So they would ride out of the camp. So the quarantine kind of is a non-issue for him. Just can't go to restaurants and stuff like that. But that's the concern, is the 2 weeks.
One of the things that I think people are missing on the quarantine is you don't have to quarantine within the state of Vermont. You can quarantine at home for the 14 days or the 7 days. And when you come to Vermont, all you do is sign the affidavit. Yep. And everybody lies when they sign those things anyway. So it's not going to be that big of a deal.
Well, no, see, now we are being recorded. And so I'm sorry, but I think we need to talk officially here. I mean, it's important that we represent what should happen, not what is happening. Believe me, I live in Stowe. I see it all the time.
I understand that, but we also need.
But we also
reality check
people that they should be doing that. It's just, and I know you're not telling them they should be, but I don't even think it should be a topic.
All right, Stan.
Yeah, just a couple of things. One was a kind of a clarification on that quarantine issue. So if someone, as you understand it, if someone were to drive up to Vermont on a Saturday morning, unload in one of our parking lots and go riding for the day, they don't go to a restaurant, they don't go, they get gas pay at the gas pump. And then they get back in their truck and they go home. Have they broken the mandate, or would that be legal?
No, that's legal.
Okay, that's what I thought. And
as long as they don't talk to anyone, they don't, like you said, don't go out to restaurants and all that, that's still considered quarantining. As long as they're just riding with people that they're quarantining with at home or wherever they're staying. Yeah, it's the same with, I've been asked, like, people that ride in from New Hampshire. They have a house or a camp in New Hampshire, but they'll ride into Vermont. That's fine, but you have to treat it like you're quarantining, so you can't talk to anyone.
Well, because I've had this conversation with a few people this week, and they told me that I was absolutely wrong, that you can't even cross the border, period. So that was just one question.
Yeah,
and
no,
the other question I have is, we keep talking about non-residents coming to Vermont, but if VAS or the system is effectively closed down, and clubs aren't grooming, then you also have to address the Vermonters who have already bought their TMAs, and they're essentially going to be in the same position if this trail system isn't available to them.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah, my understanding from talking to the governor's office, they have no intention of closing our trails, none whatsoever. What might close is the border. That would be the drastic thing that's done. It would be closing the border to anything but essential medical travel.
So they've considered actually putting roadblocks at the borders and stopping it.
I don't know how they would do it, but that, like last spring, it was only open to essential travel. All they did was count license plates. I don't know if they would do that or they would do more. They're now sending like secret police out to check on lodging and restaurants to do undercover. I mean, so they're doing more now than they were last spring, because like somebody put it the other day, in the spring, they were learning how to fly the plane while they were flying the plane. Now they're flying the plane, but they learned a lot over the last 6 or 7 months. So I think they would do more at the borders, but they're not going to put blockades up. But I mean, that's never been brought to my attention. But I think that like the restrictions that they have for ski areas right now is very much more geared to Vermont skiers. And that's where they might get with snowmobiling. They completely understand that we have a very self-isolating sport. And they've closed bars now in Vermont. It might go to the point where they close restaurants, and I hope they don't. But I can't see that they're going to be stopping cars.
There's no secret police there. People are basically complaining to they submit complaints to the AG's office. The AG's office sends it to state police. State police sends it to the local jurisdiction, which in some cases is themselves, and they go out, they investigate. The police do not have the ability to investigate / prosecute all these complaints. They're going in, they're dealing with it by education, and that's it. There's no enforcement. I'm pretty sure that blocking state borders is probably unconstitutional, or probably the beginning of martial law. So I think we need to gate it back a little bit here, guys. I mean, we're talking about things that things that may not even be, legally possible. I did just message Steve Wright, the CEO of JPeak, and they are giving refunds to folks from Canada or people that have to quarantine. And their reservation policy is also adjusted so that they can cancel. They used to have a cancellation policy that was a lot, there's a wider range, and now it's a lot narrower. It's within, I believe, like a 48 hours cancellation policy. So they are making changes. Anyway, I got a couple of things to say, but I just wanted to address that. So Tim, when you're ready, just let me know.
All right, Kurt.
Well, as far as the as quarantine goes, you go 7 days with a negative test, because I know a few families that their kids are being taught at home, they're both working from home, and they get tested. They've been tested quite frequently, because when they do have to go in, they have to be safe. But that, those people will be able to come up here.
And let me just say, over the barking dog, and thank you, Roger, for saying there's no secret police. That's a bit strong of a word.
Let 'em out.
Part of it is what we have to do is think about how we're handling it to our members and how we look. So we don't want to say, screw y'all, no refunds no matter what. And that's why we wanted to give options. We want to be able to say, we're reviewing the situation. At this time, we're not giving refunds. We'll keep reviewing it as we go on. Again, we talked long about this because we knew we get a little bit of a heads up before the governor was clamping down some. And so we met about it and talked about all these possibilities, which is why when we get on here, we're not saying, hey, we have to do this right now. We're saying, here's some options. We've thought about it. How do we want to present ourselves to the public? How do we want to look? How do we want, we don't want to, I don't, because I agree with Roger and Jeff, it's probably a minority of people who would want their money back regardless. But I don't think we want to just go out there and tell our memberships, you know what? Yeah, you're out of luck. We want to say, hey, we're reviewing it. We're taking it under advisement. We're looking at various things. And as situation changes, the way we handle it may change. For now, it's status quo. We're selling TMAs. We will keep reviewing and make changes. And that may mean we have to call a special meeting, because tomorrow morning we might get something from the governor that really changes the ballgame. We don't know that. So we have to have the ability to be a little bit flexible and have options out there in front of us that we've started researching. That's what this is. Just a list of options that we have to meet the needs of our membership.
So, and also the idea of a refund was not for everyone. So there's no real reason to look at if we refunded everybody, this is how much it was going to cost us. It was really for the instances, like I said before, which is if someone has a family member that has a compromised immune system and now they've discovered, wait, I can't even travel, because of other restrictions I have in my life, or like Kurt just said, where they know they can't. And so it's almost like a medical excuse to get a refund. I don't think there's going to be this big windfall of people that if we said we're going to be offering refunds until December 15th or till December 1st or whatever, I bet we get 20 people that want a refund. Maybe 50.
I would think that if anybody had any medical reason, they would already be considering that before they bought their TMA coming up here anyway. And I'm definitely leaning towards we should table this until the next meeting, and I'm leaning towards no refund. And if that pisses people off, then they don't come back. Oh well.
All right, Roger, you had a couple things you wanted to add. Are they relevant to this section?
Yeah, just a couple real quick things. Again, these changes, things have been changing throughout the summer. So none of this stuff should be surprises to people. Again, I think we're going to find a majority of the folks out there that have already purchased their TMAs are faithful supporters that would buy their 8 degrees on December 15th. The other thing is we have overhead. Our club, Vast, has been spending money like crazy to get the trails ready. So it's just because COVID happened doesn't mean that we're going to get a refund from our contractors. So I think, again, and Cindy's very good at this with keeping the Vast members like apprised with the email list. But, basically just let people know that at this point there are no refunds. But as Mark mentioned, it'll be reconsidered and we'll see what happens. But we didn't give refunds on the winter of 2015, 2016, and that was a shit show. So I think we just really need to kind of see what happens. And I agree with
Lisa.
Yeah. Just table it now. Or I don't know if tabling it is the word, and we just, because if we table it, we have to keep bringing it up over and over again.
See, here's the thing. I don't think we've made a motion to do anything. We just presented options in a report of what we've been talking about and looking at as possibilities. So I don't think we need to table anything. It's just, this is the report from the long-term planning committee.
Yep.
And that's
So
it.
you
Not
would
a
move
motion.
it to old business for next meeting?
I think you either nip it in the bud right now or you move on.
Yeah.
Don't drag this thing out, and now all one set of 2,000 non-residents, we got 6,000. What I was saying is, as of right now, the ones that have already purchased from this day up to this date, you could consider it that. Now, from this point on, this is what the regulations are, and they may get stringent, they may not. That's your choice. But these people, most of them that bought before the latest mandates came out. Them are the only ones I would, for me, that would be the only ones I would consider. And from this point on, let's not drag this thing out and add more and more people to the list.
I'll just add to that the couple of people that I've heard from are not people that have bought in the last few weeks. Just to echo what Jim just said, they're people that bought in October. You know, and there's been a lot of changes since October. But I see all sides of it. No matter what, we're going to have less riders this year. So there's going to be less money to go around and all of that. And we still have the same amount of trails to maintain, but we're going to be maintaining them for less people.
And they'll hold up better.
No, Kurt.
Well, everybody knows that COVID exists. You know, it's been here. It's here. It's real. You know, the governor's. I mean, by the end of the week, if he's going to shut the state down for the winter, you know, for a good length of time, we're going to know by the end of the week. You know, but as far as doing refunds go, I mean, I'd have to kind of lean with Jim on that. You know, from this date forward, if you choose to buy, no refund. If there was to be a refund at all. But, you know, with the fact this has been around since last winter, we knew it was going to come back. We knew it was going to come back with a vengeance. There's deniers out there that it's even real. And my personal feeling is I'm going to lead by example. I get 2 free TMAs for the time I contribute to that. So I'm going to take that money that I save my TMAs. I'm going to donate to a few of my clubs around, you know, because I know there's small clubs that are going to be hurting, you know, and I know there's a lot of people out there that would do the same thing for their clubs. I mean, we've got a lot of people that have done a lot around here for a long time, from way outside the state of Vermont, you know, monetarily. And I'm going to choose to lead by example with that. So my feeling is, no, I don't think we should do refunds.
Patty.
I just want to say, as an out-of-stater, New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, we've all been way entrenched in COVID, much more than Vermont.
Absolutely.
So those out-of-staters have been living it to a whole different level than Vermont. So there should be no surprise to any of them.
Exactly.
Stan.
You know, we talk about this like it's if it happens, it's going to be for the entire season. There may be a shutdown December, maybe January, and we could have the season reopen, borders reopen in March, and we know that some of our best riding is February, March, even into April. So, you know, if we were to do something early on with refunds, and then now all of a sudden the trails open back up and there's great snow, people are going to be scrambling to get TMAs, and then they're going to want to say, well, geez, you know, I bought an early bird. Now I got to pay full price. I mean, that's just going to move the water even more. So, you know, I think it'd be a good idea to let the season play out.
Roger.
Yes.
Did you? I saw your hand up on your icon.
Yeah, I left it up. I lowered it, but I will just make the comment that I think that I'm glad to hear Cindy say that nothing's, knock on wood, been muttered by the governor's office for closing trails because, you know, let's bring, if you want to talk about speculation here, that's, you know, we have locals that could potentially use the trails to, you know, travel to work. It's a means of transportation in the winter for some people. So I really, really, really hope it does not come to that. It's going to be bad.
Yeah, no, I'm almost 100% certain that they would not ask us to do that. Closing the ski areas, now that's different because it's a completely different sport. And the only reason they asked us last year was because it was, like I said, they were learning how to fly the plane while they had the plane up in the air. And it was sort of a, you know, and they knew that 98% of our trail system was already closed down, if more. So I definitely, it's not even near on their radar screen.
Right.
So I think that, I mean, if you want my opinion, I think this discussion has been great. And I think that it's been something that we can now go back to and say that you guys have had this discussion. We've recorded it. You know, it's on YouTube. There might be people watching it on YouTube. I don't know. Well, I do know Larry is at least watching it because Larry Dwyer, because he sent me an email. And by the way, he's for no refunds. And so let's just keep going along and listening to what happens. And like Mark said, we could call a special meeting if something drastic happens. But at least we know the options out there.
I agree, Cindy, and I think we'll know more by the end of the week.
Right, and again, what this was to get you all thinking about what may be on your plates if something happens drastic in the season. I think it's important for us to, because I did notice that there was some talk on social media about it, that we do get out and say, hey, at this time, VAST is monitoring the situation, and as the situation changes, we'll reconsider things, but we're not doing anything at this time.
Okay.
I got Lewis and then Kurt.
Sorry.
I agree with what Stan said. I mean, even if they do get shut down for a little while, they might be back open in February, March, and especially if these two companies have just been announcing the last couple of days about vaccines. People start getting the vaccines in January and February, and then people are out riding, doing things again. So I agree 100% with them. I don't think there should be any refunds, period.
All right, Kurt.
Well, for what it's worth, it could be a good year to be a Vermont snowmobiler living in Vermont.
Well, unfortunately,
it'd be a good, safe year to ride down to Woodford.
I know, but Kurt, I know that that's kind of a joke, but unfortunately, more than half of our
I know it's a tough one, Cindy. I get it.
I just don't want you to get the backlash on social media.
Yeah, I get it.
It's already been a good year for this Vermont snowmobilers. I won my club's annual raffle and $3,000 Friday night. So it's been a good year for this Vermont snowmobiler.
Anyone who wants a refund, see him.
I truly do feel bad for anybody, you know, that would be affected not being able to come up and enjoy what everybody here works so hard for.
All right, Jeff.
Can we just do kind of a straw poll as to where everybody's at regarding refunds?
Absolutely. Yep. How about a hand?
Hand for what? No refund?
Everybody that's for a refund, hold your hand up.
Just for no refund?
No,
Yeah.
a refund.
Refund. Anybody that is for a refund, hold your hand up.
Or say something if you're on the phone.
So I'm seeing no hands.
Yeah, because I'm always as the situation warrants, and I don't think it does warrant it right now.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Let's wrap that up and move on.
Wait, Tim, Mike Burns is trying to say something.
Oh, I couldn't hear him. Sorry.
Sorry, I just wanted to, I guess, agree with Mark on, I think if we did do a refund, it should be not on an individual basis. It should be based on what the state does. Nothing that we do, no decision point of ours. If they close the border, that's one thing. If they don't, there's no refund or something like that. I don't think we want to get into piecemealing it and stuff like that. And it shouldn't be based on weather or anything like that, or we'll have people try to use that. It should be clearly the state did this, so we do that. The state doesn't do that. We're not doing that.
Okay, thank you, Mike. All right, any other comments or, sorry, Cindy, go ahead.
We have one more thing to talk about.
Yep.
There's a change, there's an additional sentence or two that was added to the grooming contract by Hans, our vast attorney. Because if we only have half of the members this year that we had last year, so I sent a copy of the contract out to everybody. I'm gonna share my screen. So it's this here in yellow.
Oh, there we go.
You don't have to get so mad you throw things, Louis.
I know, huh? I just knocked down the candlestick. I didn't even try jumping over it.
Don't slip.
Does everybody see that? Does anybody need me to read it out loud?
Yeah.
Yeah, which one?
Both.
VAST reserves the right to reduce grooming frequency and funding in the event VAST membership or trail use are significantly impacted by COVID-19. Grooming equipment shall not be operated on any body of water.
I think they both make perfect sense.
Shots fired. Orleans County makes a motion that we accept that wording in the contract, the new wording in the contract.
Addison seconds it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll take it to a vote. All those in favor of accepting the new wording or additional wording to the contract, say aye.
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 Those against, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Roger. All right, Trails Administrator Report, ED and LVRT reports.
Wait.
What?
Wait. Well, there was something else in on that long range planning thing. Sorry. I mean, it's important, but it wasn't as important, obviously, as the action items. But it's right above. Cindy, I'm just curious. Have any clubs reached out to you about using the VAST Zoom?
Washington County has.
Yeah.
We've done it for our county meetings.
They're using it.
Orange did.
Yep.
Orange has.
Yeah,
Windsor County has, as well as the Andover Club. So, yep.
Yeah, we allow clubs and counties to use our Zoom. You just have to let me know when your meeting is, and I'll reserve it and send you the code. I just have to be on a different night than somebody else has picked. So tell me when you want it, and then I'll tell you if it's picked or not.
Nope. I was just asked at a county level. I did put it out to a couple of clubs, but I told them they had to check with you to make sure there wasn't a conflict. But I also have a Zoom, so I did offer mine to them as well. If for some reason there was a conflict, because there was a meeting that they tried to do just via a phone conference, and it didn't work out very well. So, excuse me. That's why I was asking. So, because I'm trying to push that.
Yeah, we have. Ours is a real account. I'm assuming yours is too, through your office or something, because the free Zooms, you're only allowed so many people, and you're only allowed to have it for so long. And so that's why we've been letting clubs and counties use our Zoom account, because it's a paid account. And so you can have as many people on as you want, and it can last a couple hours. So we've actually even used it. Orleans Snowstormers used it for a fundraising event one night too, where they did a big raffle and stuff like that. So, yeah, you just got to let me know when you want it.
I have a paid account available too if there is conflict some night as well. It can be used.
All right.
Thanks, Jeff. I would ask because it became a kind of a hot topic, and when I realized that they were trying to do just phone calls, there's a lot of information that wasn't being heard correctly or miscommunicated. So, thank you. That was it, Ken.
Straighten them right out now, Carmen. All right, Trails Administrator Report, EV and LVRT. I trust everybody's had a chance to read the reports that were submitted. Does anybody have any questions of the content? All right, we'll move forward. Committee and other meeting reports. Northeast Chapter, Pat, Jeff. And
The There is a meeting, USA meeting tomorrow night. No, Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
And other than that, we haven't met recently.
I'm going to make the assumption that the chapter ride is off for this year as well.
Yeah, I would assume the same.
Vermont Snow Trails Conservancy, Jim?
Nothing.
Law enforcement, Gary's not here. Do you have anything, Cindy, from that?
No. No.
Okay. LVRT committee, anything going on there for notifications?
No.
Okay. Awards and nominating, Patty?
No report. We're all set.
All right. Bylaws and policy, Jeff?
Nothing.
Nothing. Annual meeting, Pat and Jeff?
Nothing really.
No, we've made a preliminary decision to probably go with Forest Field, but it's not really confirmed yet.
Okay. So no commitment yet.
No.
All right. Executive committee, there's nothing going on there. Financial, I don't think there's any additional questions for Patty. Long range planning. Had a very nice-
Can I use my time to say something?
You
I
can.
didn't know where to put this in. I don't know how many of you served on the board with him, but Johnny Lyons, former Washington County Director, manager of snowmobile tours, and longtime vast volunteer, president of 2 clubs in Washington County. At one point passed away on October 24th. Like I said, he gave a lot to VAST, going so far as to drive the VAST truck out to the International Snowmobile Congress in Utah. And of course, doing all the work up in the state lands in Waterbury and with snowmobile tours. He gave a lot to snowmobiling, and he passed away October 24th, left a wife and an 8-year-old daughter. But I just, for anyone who may have served with him on the board, I just wanted to let people know.
All right, thank you, Mark. Resource committee, you have any updates, Ivor?
No, we're getting an email list together now, and then we'll be emailing everything out, hopefully this week. So.
All right, thanks. Personnel, Jeff?
Nothing.
Nothing. Trails, Jeff?
Trails meeting on December 9th, which is a Wednesday, because that fit around everybody else's club meetings and county meetings. The construction seminar stuff is up on the website, Matt, is that correct? So that's nothing formal, that nothing formal as far as a test or anything. Just kind of want people to go in and review it. Just trying to think what else we talked about. I think that was it. I think everything else was pretty well covered. Unless you can think of something else, Matt. Sounds good.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Safety, Stan?
And we have a meeting coming up next Monday. And thanks to Ken, we have our GPS signs ready, available to the clubs. We've ordered a couple for ours, and he got them. There it is. Look at that. That thing just explodes.
Nice.
So, we've got ours ordered. Thanks, Ken. That was really great getting them done quickly. Thanks. And that's about it. We've got our meeting Monday night.
Nice, thanks, Dan. Governor's report on the council, Pat?
The council last month found out that some legislation that we had proposed last year actually did not get taken out of the bill, and it did get passed. That was interesting. And that is legislation that allows snowmobile safety certificates to be presented electronically. You can take a picture of your card and not have to physically have the card with you. Also, the council is looking into the noise level legislation. It may be too late to get that in this year, this next coming session, but we're looking at it.
Are you looking at adjusting the decibel level or?
We're looking at getting rid of the decibel level and going to a safety certification plate on the exhaust system.
All right. Thanks, Pat. Is there any other items that anybody would like to discuss before we adjourn the meeting?
Go ahead,
Me?
Beth.
Beth?
Real quick, just want to remind directors to remind their clubs to send in their updated officer and club contact forms for the year. It's really important this year as we're sending out a lot of things digitally that we make sure we have everybody updated and their correct email addresses. And that form is on our website under forms on the club side, club contact and officer form. And they can do that both online or they can download and print out a paper form.
Yes, thank you, Beth. Any other subjects anybody'd like to discuss before we adjourn?
When's the
All
next
right.
meeting?
Thanks, Mark.
Have a happy and safe Thanksgiving, everybody.
I just want to thank everybody for the great conversation around TMAs and COVID.
Who made
Have a
the
great-
motion?
Have a great holiday. Oh, I don't know. Who made the motion?
No one made the motion. I
No one
asked when the
has.
next meeting was.
No one has.
And Kurt seconded that.
Yes.
The next meeting is the third Monday of the month. So
The
instead of
21st.
21st, thank you, Pat. I was just pulling my phone
That's
up.
on your paperwork.
Says the
Yes,
14th on
it
the,
is. It's
14th.
It's on the backside of the agenda.
Oh, oh.
yeah, but it says the 14th, which is
Just
the
turn the
second.
page over.
So is it the
It looks
14th
like
or
that.
the 21st?
Whatever's on the agenda.
14th.
I
It's the
got it
14th.
now. I didn't
It's the
realize.
14th.
Okay.
14th.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Addison County,
Rutland County would second that.
adjourn.
All those in favor?
Hi.
Say
Aye.
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 Bye. Good night.